Hi crafters, it's Karen, and I created another project for Diamond Dye's design team. I created a mixed media layout, and for this project I used the pine branch dye, really sweet. I cut it out in white cardstock and craft cardstock, and I used the realistic roses dye, and again used white cardstock and craft cardstock. I used this cake board, 12 by 12 cake board, to as the base for my layout, and it works out real nice. It has one side that is the craft color and the other side that is the white color, so that works out great whichever way you work in it. I worked on the white side. The collection that I used is from Keller Kurtz & Company. This is by the Paper Studios at Hobby Lobby, and really sweet papers. I was going to see if I couldn't find the sheet that I used, but there's so many papers in this stack. I only used one sheet. Anyway, really beautiful papers. So let me share, here I'm going to do it this way. Let me share my layout. I thought it came out really cute. It's a layout of my little grandbaby, Alyssa. This photo was taken when she was about 3 weeks old, and right now she's over 2 months old, so she's changed quite a bit, but still really sweet photo. So the first thing that I did with this layout is I prepared my cardboard, and I peeled back some of the papers. Let me show you. I peeled back some of this paper here to reveal the corrugation, and then I painted it with white gesso. In this corner, in the top right hand corner, I peeled back the whole white piece and rolled it over like that. So after I had done that, I painted the whole thing sporadically with a thin layer of gesso. And then I took my designer paper and tore around the edges, tore around the edges, and then used my Mod Podge to adhere it to the cardboard. And then I went over it with a coat of gesso to make the colors more soft. I wish the lighting was better today. It's kind of cloudy, but so that you could see more of the detail. But so the gesso kind of muted the different tones within the paper. Over here I rolled, I backed this section of the designer paper with vintage music paper because this paper is one-sided. So, and that was so that I can roll this corner back and that you would be able to see the music sheet, behind. I also tore a little hole behind here. You can't see it so well now, but I tore a section of the paper collection to reveal the music paper underneath. So I did that, and I added my gesso, and I dried that, and then I went over the whole thing with my scintillating silver. So the base is covered with Lindy Stamp Gang scintillated silver, and it gives a nice shimmer. Then after that, I took these two stencils. I used this one by the Crafters Workshop, and this is the reverse chicken wire. And I did this in different areas. You can see in the background. You can see in the background, and I'll hold it up in a bit so that you can see the layers and the detail. But I did that. And then I used this template also to accent different portions of the base. I used it here. I used it along this edge here, up in there. So I did that. And then for the photo mat, this is also a piece of corrugated board, but this is from the DCWV Neutrals corrugation stack, and I went over it. I trimmed it out and then went over it with gesso and vintage white acrylic paint. And then I laid it on a piece of cardboard as my dimensional. So it's, you know, popped up with a piece of cardboard underneath. Over here is the Tim Holtz tattered clock. And for this piece, I cut it out of white chipboard, and then I painted it with vintage white acrylic paint, gesso, and then I went over the whole thing with Mod Podge, with modeling paste, excuse me, and just brought a really nice texture to the clock. This is another piece of it as well here in this corner. And then to the corrugated, you know, photo mat, I adhered this tool trim from Hobby Lobby on the reverse side, just on the bottom and top of it. And then over to the left, I frayed some burlap and layered underneath there some burlap and some of this trim from Hobby Lobby. And then I put some more of the trim underneath here, and then up on top of the photo. And then I took some of my pine branches and layered it here. So let me just hold it so that you could see some of the detail. So these are my white pine branches and the ones that I cut out with craft. So that's how I prepared the cardboard base and also the photo mat. And over here is where I rolled the papers. So after I completed that, I started playing with my flowers. I created this flower. I created these two flowers and all of these smaller flowers here. This white one, this craft one, this one here. These were all created with the Realistic Rose Diamond die set. If you could see that there, this one and this one, the craft one, and all of these were created with the smaller die over here. And I also layered this piece from Hobby Lobby, acrylic piece, onto this one. So those were the flowers that I created. This big flower here was given to me. I believe either Lydia or Wanda had created this flower for me. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I want to say Lydia, but I put all my handmade flowers in a bucket, and so I can't remember. I'm so sorry, ladies, but thank you for the gorgeous flower. It was perfect for this project. This flower is from a swap that I did. This is a Wild Orchid Crafts trellis rose, and then some other random white roses from my stash. This spray here, this is from Hobby Lobby, and this one here, it was from my stash. I can't remember where I had gotten it. This is a piece metal flower from Butterbee Scraps, and I just layered it with these Wild Orchid Craft petals. They look like this, that Wanda, she's Boxy Bell here on YouTube, had given me. So I layered it with some of these flat petal ones and then topped it with a gardenia petal. And also there's a tiny doily layered in there. This flourish here is from Tim Holtz. As you can see, Here's another piece of the flourish here. And as you can see, I did a lot of layering with the diamondized pine branch. I thought the white and the craft really brought out the photo. I layered this flower on some cheesecloth. I added some random pearls. There's a little teddy bear here that I had gotten in one of my doodad bags at one point. Another flower that I layered with the Wild Orchid Craft flowers, and there's a tiny doily in there. This acrylic flower with the feathers and the bling is from Hobby Lobby. And then over here to map my photo, I had this doily here. In this one, it's actually one doily. I cut it in half. I had sprayed it and painted it and tried to get it as white as I could. It was a natural tea color. So I dulled the color down there, and I laid a piece here and here. This ribbon is also from Hobby Lobby. It comes, it comes on a spool, and I just wrapped it around this edge that I had curled back and, adhered it in that dimensional way. What else? Tucked inside here is a ceramic lily. I believe it's a lily from Michael's, and I tucked it inside there with some cheesecloth. This is the other piece of the Tattered Clock by Tim Holtz. You could see some of the texture that I created on that, along with some more of the pine branches. Another flower from my stash. This is another flower that I layered from Wild Orchid Crafts that I layered on top of a crocheted flower that Karen Sue had given me. Thank you so much, Karen Sue. I tucked in another pine branch here with the little resin piece from Hobby Lobby. I layered in some burlap here to bring in some more natural like fibers. Over here, this is, I believe this is a petaloo flower, and I took one of my glittered birds from Joann's and layered it on some cheesecloth. There's another diamond dyes pine branch here, another piece of Tim Holtz flourish. So I thought it came out really super cute. This is a stick pin that I had created on this heart pin with some beads from my stash. Really sweet. So that's basically it. There's a lot of layers, but it's hard to explain, how I built it up. But those were some of the details that I pointed out. If you could see the reverse chicken wire modeling paste in there. I thought it came out really super sweet. So there you go. I just love these pine branch by Diamond Dyes. This photo she's laying in, it looks like a bed of feathers with this big crocheted hat on, like it's winter, and the pine branch just gives the illusion, of winter. I just thought they worked out really well for this particular layout. So that's my project share and my mixed media layout. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.